Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Merriman. With me today, in for Sally DeFries, the one and only, the only intern at Wash Media currently, Calli Rubin. Calli, what's going on?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Your third technical appearance.
My third, yes.
On the Mail-In, your first solo.
Yeah.
As the co-host of this journey that we're about to take. Welcome.
Thank you.
How's things?
Cool.
How's the Washed Media fall internship going so far?
It's good. I like it because I get out of class and then I just come here and hang out with y'all.
That's basically what we have you doing, along with other things like manning. You have, I don't know if you guys have noticed a lot of the social we're doing around DraftKings and Vizzy. Calli sort of manages the reporting on that stuff, along with making TikToks, making memes.
Yup.
Writing columns that do more page views than Randy.
Sorry, Randy.
And and working merch and stuff. So you're doing a lot of different things here.
Thank you. I'm having fun doing it too.
Beautiful. This is the Mail-In Podcast. We answer questions. If you want to help us out, please tell a friend about the podcast. Send some clips to a friend. Shouts to Cool Adam up there in Dallas doing his thing and clipping the Mail-In Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes. Follow on Spotify. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Also, hit up the new store. Calli currently, if you look at the camera, Calli's wearing the Washed
I am.
Dad hat.
Matching with Dylan today.
You are. A couple pretty cool things in the store. And there's more coming. Calli and I have been working on merch ideas.
I'm excited.
Very excited about that stuff. So keep an eye out there. That's washedmedia.shop. Hit up washedmedia.shop to check out what we have going on and look out for more there. Also, hit up the new Mail-In YouTube channel. We're doing producer Randy is like, hey, we should go from Washed Media YouTube to every show has its own channel. So we've done that. And now Mail-In has its own thing. YouTube.com/Mail-In Podcast. Please subscribe, like, comment, all the things you can do on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces as we do this. Hello. Calli, before we get going, can I do like a what's grinding my gears today?
Yeah, what's
kind
up?
of comment? Okay. You're familiar with Instagram, right?
No, never heard of it.
No, it's an app. And they've been doing this thing lately where when you watch the stories, you go through stories of your friends, the sound plays automatically.
And it like blasts.
And it absolutely blasts. You're like, oh my God. So what I do is in the morning, I listen to like a podcast or music on the way in, set the tone in my car. And obviously you need sound up for that. And that carries over to the day when I look at Instagram for the first time, the stories just absolutely go crazy.
Right.
Have you been dealing with this problem like I have?
Yeah, I get on the Instagram app and I'm like going through stories, obviously.
Sure.
Like in
As
my
one
free time,
does,
I'm
right.
swiping through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like playing a song like on like Spotify on my phone, and then I'll like open the Instagram story, and like normally you can choose to like have it play sound.
Okay.
But in this scenario, it'll like pause my music and then like blast the Instagram story.
Yeah, and that's the worst part.
I feel like it's a glitch. Like I feel like it's never been like that.
That's what I thought at first, and then here we go, full circle. This is big Instagram. We're talking about it. TikTok is eating their lunch when it comes to market share and Reels versus TikToks, et cetera. Now Instagram is like, oh no, you guys have so many problems, and then they're going to come to save the day. We're going to feel good about Instagram again.
So they just start
Quick
automatically
fix.
Playing it like TikTok?
Exactly. It's absolutely crazy. And I just want to say, if somebody out there is with Instagram, I don't know where you are, but I will find you, because it's so annoying that I've stopped using the app, or I've stopped looking at stories, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with going in and then knowing somebody's like noise is going to blow my ears off, and then having to just like turn down the volume. Just like, what? How can you have such a popular app and not know what you're doing when it comes to stories?
I feel like I subconsciously scroll through them too. So I'll be like in class, like on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'll be like watching the stories, and my professor's in the middle of a lecture, and then it'll start like blasting the story.
Yeah. God forbid
didn't mean to.
You have a girl at a concert who has to tape the whole show on stories, and and I
Just
now
blasting
yeah,
in your
now I'm
ear.
listening to, like, fucking Gavin DeGraw live. It's absolutely crazy. We just need to fix that. Also, my second Instagram gripe.
Mm.
If you go in and search something on Instagram, so you go in, you hit the little search
Mhm.
magnifying glass, and you go to search, like, say I search Calli, Calli, and I go to click on your profile, there's like a 3-second pause where
Yeah.
I'm about
Yep,
to click on
yep,
your
and then you
profile,
click search,
and then
and
I
then it goes
click
to all the
and I
so
click you know how
annoying.
many times I do that? I just sit there and click that. I'm just like, "No, I
Yeah,
didn't
and then you
wanna
go
do
back and
that."
you do it again, but then you do it again,
Yep,
like,
and you know
back to
what?
back to
And
back.
Randy agrees with us, and you know why they fucking do that is because they want to hype up their search function. Like, "Oh, our search increased by, like, however many percent." So you go to look up your sig of, your crush, your, r like, Randy looks up a lot of fitness models on Instagram,
Right.
um, and so but he says, "Dudes," so he goes in and you can like, you look at, like, Dave Ruff. Oh, right there, can't wait to click. Nope,
Nope. You
nope.
search, like, all the Daves, and they all
You
pop
search
up.
Dave.
Yeah.
Right, you
It
search
sucks.
Dave. So Instagram, you get your shit together. You're
Well,
already getting rocked by TikTok.
yeah.
You can't this is like Alabama on Sunday, or excuse me, Saturday against Texas. Like, you're still gonna win the game because Meta is just too big, but, like, you're too many penalties, too many
Yeah.
flags.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Clean it up.
Clean it up. Anyway, anything grinding your gears before we get going here? Is
I feel like that's it. I don't know, you kinda nailed it in on Instagram. I feel like
okay.
no other apps are doing the same issue that
No.
is.
Twitter is just everybody fucking hates Twitter, but it's there. It's always there for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
everybody
I've
wants the edit button and this and that. No, but it's still just
yeah.
it hasn't changed
I've
much.
found on Twitter, like, sometimes, like, viral tweets, they're, like, really funny, so I'm gonna go like them, right? And, like, sometimes I
Mm,
can't like them. Like, it won't let me like it, but it has, like, 50,000 likes. I'm like, "Am I blocked by this person?" Like, it's not making any
interesting.
sense, but I don't know this person, obviously, so, like, that wouldn't make any
So
sense.
you're
I don't
like
know.
shadow banned, but the reverse. Like
Yeah.
you're shadow viewed,
Yeah,
ban
and
viewed.
so I'm like, "Well, my friends can retweet these tweets, and I can't," and it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. If I were to ask you right now what your current screen time looks like,
Oof. Should I look?
yeah, this is
I
live.
can look and see.
While Callie's
This is
looking that up,
scary.
Randy, you're gonna have a mic today, sort of.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. I have a little Instagram thing
Oh,
that's
hit me.
that's making me mad too.
Sure.
I don't know if this is a business account thing. As me, as a video producer, and we're doing a lot more clips, I want to see how our clips are doing as far as views. But when I go to too much dip or circling back, all that, the top, you should be able to go through posts, reels, and like tag photos.
Yeah.
They don't have that for circling back too much dip and stuff. Oh, I go to your profile, it has it, but it won't let me access it. So I can't see how many views we're getting.
I feel
And
like that's a you problem.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's an Instagram problem.
So you want to so you're saying that when I go to look up circling back and I'm not logged in as circling back, spoiler alert, we all have the account, so you never know who it is. And I go to Reels, I can see the views.
So you have that top bar.
Correct.
Okay,
I very much have a bar.
I don't for all of our stuff. I have it for
That's
like people's
weird.
personals, but business accounts I can't see.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Please take that up with the Instagram support team, which will no doubt get to your request in a timely manner. Thank you, Randy. Callie, what is your screen time looking like these
All
days?
right, this is dangerous because I'm just gonna give a little backstory. Last night was
Oh
one of
boy.
those nights where I woke up at like 2:30 a.m. ready to like conquer the day. You know, do you ever like wake up in the middle of the
No,
night like ready to run a marathon?
absolutely not.
Okay, well that happened to me last night. And whenever that happens to me, it's usually like once a month. I don't know why,
Okay.
but I just like scroll on my phone, I shop, I go on TikTok. Like it's not good. Usually
Sure.
it lasts like maybe a couple hours, but last
Do you
night was
fall
an
back to
issue.
sleep, or is it you extend the
Yeah.
performance?
So normally I try not to get on my phone when that happens, but like I couldn't resist last night.
Okay.
And I woke up, got on my phone, and I was up from 2:30 and I went back to bed at 6:30.
Not conducive to a great not being tired today.
Right. So my screen time absolutely skyrocketed
Sure.
from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Today from 12, well, actually 1, 2, and 3 a.m. was my peak time
Yep.
on
That's
my
just
phone.
straight scrolling.
6 hours.
Nice. Okay.
It's embarrassing.
No,
but
my average is way up these days too.
But on Tuesday, mine was 4 hours the
That's
whole
manageable.
day. And that wasn't me like awake in the middle of the night. So I feel like that's pretty manageable.
I think my phone is conspiring against me and adding my laptop screen time.
I don't know. I haven't really I never really look at my screen time because it kind of freaks me out. And I never really want to know what I'm doing or how long I'm on my phone
Sure.
for.
Yeah. No doubt.
But sometimes I look at it and it's like, whoa, that's a lot. And I feel like I wasn't on my phone that much.
Okay. I see. That's where I'm at. I'm like, 9 hours. That's impossible.
Yeah.
How? I don't know. Because you know why I think it could be the case. I wonder if it counts like podcasts. If you're listening live to a podcast,
Yeah, it probably
because
does
then
because it runs in the background.
right,
Yeah, or
I'm
like
on to you,
music
Instagram. I'm on to
and
you,
yeah,
and big phone in general. What are your most used apps?
most used apps. I like Instagram, but Instagram I mean, obviously it's pissing us off lately. But TikTok, I honestly haven't been on TikTok like that much. I'm trying not to, but last night I just like went to town.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I check my mail like it's a social media. I
Oh, yeah.
love my mail app. I don't know
Okay.
why. It's like so fun for me.
Okay. The TikTok lately has been serving me new, musicians
Mm,
that I like. Like, there's a band, I don't know if you've heard, called Loveless.
uh-uh.
They're like a new age pop punk band. Listening to all their songs now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
TikTok, that's what they've done for me lately,
The
more than
thing
Spotify has.
the thing with my TikTok is like I don't know what happened, but like the other day, like my For You page like did a glitch and it
Mhm.
it's not based on what I've like been looking at on my For You page. So it kind of like reset. So I was getting
Yeah.
weird videos from
Okay.
left field. Like they did not make any sense. And
Interesting.
some of them were funny, but some of them I was like, you know, when you end up on like that side of TikTok that you don't want to be on, like the niche, like weird parts of TikTok, that's where I ended up. And so I had to give it a little
Okay.
bit of a break.
Got you. Yeah, I there should be an option on any social media app to, like, let me reset my
Yeah.
algorithm or, like, clear whatever cookies you need to clear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, "Alright, I'm in too deep on, like, whatever TikTok. I just wanna give me a reset."
Yeah.
And then we can redo it from there. I'm happy to
Right.
give you all my data, but,
Right.
like, give me a reset where we're at now. I don't like
Yeah.
where we are, and I don't wanna go through the hassle of searching and, like, trying to figure out
Right.
what's going on here. I guess we'll get started on questions then. I was gonna go on a little Twitter rant, but I'm like, you know what? We're 12 minutes in. We should probably answer questions now.
All right.
So
Let's get to it.
let's do it. Hey guys, first time, long time. My friends and I talk about how the pandemic, actually, this kind of plays into what we're just talking about, how the
Mm.
pandemic helped TikTok become the #1 app for younger people like you, Callie, on social media. Along with that, trends and life hacks have appeared that are now part of our daily lives because of these apps. Wondering what you guys do off the air that may be considered giving cool girl or cool guy energy. Thanks.
Hmm.
I feel like this is like, hey, do you flirty, what's it called? Cool girl walk or hot girl
Hot girl
walks?
walks.
I feel like that's very much in people's like
But it's
routine now.
also how you define cool girl or cool guy. Like,
Okay.
I feel like that plays a big role because
Okay.
I'm not too sure like hot girl walks are considered cool,
Oh,
in
are
my
they chuggy
opinion.
now?
I feel like they're slightly chuggy, but it's really just
Oh,
girls getting dressed up to go on a walk. Like, it makes no sense.
okay.
Like, you're putting on like a cute outfit to go on a walk. Like, you do you, but I feel like that doesn't make you a cool girl.
So that's like got Target energy now.
Yeah.
Cool girl walks or hot girl walks.
Cool girl walks. We call it
Wow.
that.
See, I kind of get it now because everybody used to go on walks during the pandemic because it was like, oh, we're getting outside. Like this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it came from. Is like, all right, now I'm gonna get dressed up to go walk outside,
Yeah.
which I will still do, just on a treadmill. But
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not the type of person to get dressed up to just go on a walk around town.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Besides the hot girl walks, I feel like being a cool girl or cool guy based off of like TikTok and all the trends and stuff is kind of just like, you know, when you watch your favorite movie or your shows, like, you know, those lines from the movie and the show.
yeah,
That's kind of how the TikTok trends are. Like, you just subconsciously start saying them, or like you can like
yeah,
vibe with the people next to you because you understand what's going on. I
hmm
don't know, like that type of stuff. Like the underlying, I get what you're saying.
yeah. And I think there's like this new generation of like content producers too, like on YouTube and TikTok. whether it's like the Nelk Boys or all these TikTok stars that have kind of
Yeah.
emerged and Sway House and shit like
Yeah.
that. And then like I think of like the Bass Pro Shop hat, which has immediately just like launched to the forefront of popular
Yeah.
culture. So like catch me wearing a Cabela's hat. I'm gonna be like
Mm.
counterculture. But
Yep.
I just think of stuff like that and in terms of what I've employed in my off air or on air life, like I'm sure there's stuff. Like I wear Vans now. I was never much of a
Mm.
Vans guy. But I don't think I have a whole lot that have
Yeah.
has really changed me. I think I'm a little old for the really trendy stuff.
I feel like sometimes I am too.
How old are you?
21.
Yeah. I feel
Like some of it's a little,
like a
I don't
little like
know. It's
15,
a little
16,
out of
17,
touch.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't know. I have like life hack TikTok
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I've definitely done stuff. I can't think of it like necessarily off the top of my head, but I've definitely watched something on there and been like, "Oh shit, that's cool. I'm going to do that."
Yeah. I feel like the one I show my mom this because she always like makes chicken for us, and you
Oh
take like
yeah.
the fork and you like devein the chicken basically.
Yep.
I feel like that one was huge.
Recipes, I guess is okay. So
Recipes, yeah,
that's what I'll say. Recipes on TikTok are like
yeah.
huge thing for me.
Or whenever I'm like wanting to buy a new product or whatever, I'm not going to search reviews online anymore. I just go to TikTok and I search the product that I want to
Interesting.
buy, and
Okay.
people are talking about it.
This is like sexist of me, but I feel like that's like a big female thing
Yeah,
is to because not only do you get the review, but you see somebody using it
right.
and like how it looks on a certain body
Yeah.
and like okay, I get that. Um, yeah, I gotta watch more TikTok. I'm a big Reels guy, which is probably the chuggiest thing about me.
Do you go on the app to go on the reels?
No,
Or do you just end up on it and then you get lost
I'm
in
on
the dark?
Instagram
Yeah.
looking at stories, looking at posts, and then it's like, oh, suggested reel. Here's like this cool whatever,
Right.
and then that's where I get sucked in.
Mhm.
And the real pretty good mix now between like um comedy stuff and interesting stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Hey guys, I am a mid 20s guy finishing up school and preparing to enter the professional world, which means it's time to stop using that one half decent picture of myself from like 4 years ago for my LinkedIn and all that. My friend does photography and she has agreed to do a photo shoot to get some headshots and general quality photos that I can use moving forward, but I need your help. What kind of fits do I rock? What kind of setting do I go for? Do I keep some facial hair? Do I go clean shaven? Thanks and love y'all. I know exactly what photo this guy's talking about. It's like the college formal,
Uh-huh.
like khaki pants,
Yep.
blue
It's
blazer or
like
something like that.
the
Yeah,
sports coat. Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
He's been to like one of his like cousin's weddings or something
Yep.
like that, and he's rocking that for the LinkedIn
Mhm.
picture, taking on like a DSLR or iPhone 7.
And it's like if you're at UT, it's the tower kind of like blurred in the
Right,
background,
right, right.
that type of vibe.
Um,
Um,
have you thought about doing stuff like this, Callie? Going from the like the college? Are you even on LinkedIn?
yeah.
Okay. So let me see. What is your current LinkedIn pick?
Honestly, I don't even know. I
This
should
is good
probably
radio.
update it.
Callie Rubin. Can't find you.
Can't find well, that's an issue in
Uh-oh.
itself.
But no, I think this all depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
gonna say.
because if you're trying to go into like investment banking, IB, like maybe you go a little more clean shaven, a little
Yeah.
more put the blazer on, or
Right.
very like professional
Right.
looking. If you want to go into media, maybe it's a little more relaxed and
Yeah.
you're on a hiking trail or something.
Yeah.
The one thing I would suggest is that you don't become like a LinkedIn influencer. Are you familiar with these people that try to write all these motivational posts and stories that are total bullshit?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away from that. But it totally depends on what you're looking to do. If you want to go for something general, maybe you don't know what you want to do,
Yeah.
then it's there's nothing wrong with going with a button-down shirt and just kind of a casually formal. I realize that's a anti pose. I don't even know the word, but something where you look clean, you look good. I wouldn't go. You don't necessarily have to go totally clean shaven. I think you just kind of
Just like clean yourself up a little bit, look more
yeah
presentable.
maybe not even professional, but presentable
Yeah,
is a
and
good
if you're
word.
not doing like the coat and stuff, you could do like like a collared shirt button
Yeah,
down.
You
It's
don't need
more
to
like
look like a
chill
CEO.
vibes.
You
Yeah,
don't need to try to be too much here. I think it's just give a little bit of your personality without going over the top with it.
exactly.
Um, I think we answered that one. That's easy. Hey guys, how did you know it was time to make a big cross country move? A little about me. I am a 29-year-old attorney living in Dallas, my hometown. When I moved back after law school, I thought I'd be married with kids by this point, and that's not how life has played out. And honestly, I'm not sure if I even want that, at least for a few more years. Almost all of my friends are engaged, married, and starting a family, or are immature degenerates that and I say that with love. I cannot hang out with my family without being pressured on my dating life and why I am not at least engaged, which makes it difficult to spend time with them. I'm lonely, and I think that it'll be very hard to, quote, start over in my hometown, aka Dallas. Outside of a job I enjoy in the home I own that I really love and have put a lot of work into, I've come to realize I do not have a lot keeping me here. I work at a large firm based in New York with offices all over, and most of my work is with our East Coast clients. So, if I want to move, I'm fairly confident that I can. New York City or Boston are the two most likely options. So, Kelly, how do you know when it's time to make a big move, a big change in your life? Like, how did you know it was time to move out of Dallas and go to Austin, for example?
I don't know. I feel like the main thing is you have to know the opportunities that you're gonna get when you move to a different place because you don't
Mhm.
kind of just want to like get up and just figure it out once you're there.
I
So that
agree.
makes it a little bit more scary. Um, I don't know. I haven't really done a huge move because Dallas, I mean, I'm also from Dallas and Dallas to Austin isn't that
Not crazy.
drastic of a
Mhm.
move. But I feel like the most drastic was when I like went like to Barcelona to study abroad. Like
Mhm.
that was a huge change. And I was there for like 4 months. And I think I don't know, as long as you have like people that support you and you're eager to go and try new things, you have to definitely be open-minded because if you're
Sure.
not, then what's the point of going?
No doubt.
Um, but yeah, I don't really know. Just
Yeah. I have done this, and that's why I wanted to answer
yeah.
this question. People who've listened to this podcast before kind of know my story there, but if a quick synopsis, I was working in New York, at Barstool for 3 years, and I kinda got to the point where I was 25, I would have been, and you kinda you're ready for something else. And I think how do you know it's time is the crux of this question, and how I knew is that the routine I was in was no longer fulfilling to me. And I think combine that with the lack of responsibilities I had in my quote unquote personal life, like single, had some cash and was able to kind of pick up and leave and not affect anything directly around me with
Yeah.
family, friends, and like finances, I guess. So I had the ability to do that, which sounds like this guy does as well. Um, and you just kind of like, it's like knowing when you really like somebody or when you love somebody, like you just kind of know. And I think this guy has that. He kind of knows it's time because you sort of sounds like you would have to convince yourself to stay more than convince yourself to leave. Um, you have the opportunities set up in a firm that's got offices all over, and you say New York City or Boston, and I encourage everybody to live in New York for a year. It's not for everybody, but it's something that I think the pace of that city and the lifestyle are pretty fun. And
It's
for
an
me,
experience. Yeah.
I got tired of it after 2.5, 3 years, and that's okay. Like everybody kind of has their own thing, but um, I knew it was time when the excitement and sort of the daydreaming about a move and a career change and things like that took up more of my energy and time than my actual work and what I
Yeah.
was doing in my previous life, I guess. So I
Also
think
feel I also feel like if you're too comfortable or you're not like
yeah.
challenged or excited by anything that's around you or
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be your work, but the people around you, the environment you're in, if you're not like fully encapsulated by the energy around you, like
Yeah,
then maybe it's time to try something else. And worst comes to worst, if it doesn't work out, you can always go back.
totally. Totally agree. And you mentioned being comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people um run into very often and are sort of afraid to pull the lever
Yeah.
that takes them out of their comfort zone because like that's how we're just kind of wired is to not do
Right.
that. And especially in your hometown, it's very easy to get comfortable, and it's
Yeah.
very easy to just kind of fall back into the safety net. But, he says he's 29, he's an attorney, he's a smart dude. Like, you kinda know, like, this isn't fulfilling forever,
Right.
and some people are. Some people can be fulfilled by hometown and home friends and home job and
Yeah.
and stay there forever and meet, enough people that they can make it work and they can feel great, and that's awesome. Like, I have a buddy in New York, in Saratoga, who manages a bar and a restaurant, graduated with high school with me and loves it, never
Yeah.
leaving, and he is more, um he's just set, and I love that for him, and it just wasn't necessarily for me. I can't wait to go back someday and have a house in Saratoga, but, um, I couldn't do it for my whole life, and
Yeah.
so
I
I
just
get I get the feeling
Yeah.
here.
I feel like if you're even debating going or you're sitting down and thinking to yourself, should I leave? Should I try something else? You
Mhm.
might as well just do it because Dallas will always be there. You can always go back home, but
True.
like you're never going to stay 29 and go like be this age to be able to go and travel and
Yep.
try different things and see new places and meet new people. And I feel like we should all take advantage of that while we can.
The assets you have right now, which are your youth, your lack of responsibility, which is like, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
It's just the reality that you don't have
Yeah.
anything tethering you to your current situation. Um, and your job, your career, you're an attorney in a huge firm, like, that provides you relocation opportunities,
Right.
not easily, but relatively easily, I guess. So, if I'm you, I love Boston, and if that's a likely option for you, I love that idea. But I'm not here to tell you where to go. That's everybody's different, and I have my ideal stuff, but yeah, I think. How do you know it's time to make a cross country move? If you're asking that question, you already know the answer,
Yeah.
and I can
I
provide
agree.
more specific advice if you have something to ask. And I know you've put a lot of time and effort into your house and family's there, so it's not going to be the most emotionally, like, cut and go
Yeah. It's
and
not going to be
be
easy.
sunshine and rainbows, but it's sounds like it's necessary.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the best thing I've ever done. So take that with you. But let's do the next one. Hi, Brett and Callie. I am writing for advice on how to navigate being in the same friend group as someone who you have feelings for, but who does not have feelings for you. A little backstory here. I'm a 28-year-old girl, and my best friend for the past 6 years has been a guy who I met in college. We became close friends in college and stayed very close ever since. I've had on and off feelings for him, which made our friendship complicated. We did most everything together, along with our extremely tight knit friend group. Also, neither of us actively dated other people over the past 6 years. Last month, he got on the dating apps, and I decided it was too hard to watch him date. So I got up the courage to be super honest and share my feelings for him. He was respectful, but he does not share them back. The conversation ended in us deciding not to speak to each other or see each other one on one moving forward. While it was heartbreaking, I know it needed to happen. Here's where the question comes in. We still share the same tight knit group of friends, and there are weddings, events, and concerts coming up where I know I will see him. How do I navigate taking care of myself while also not giving up my social life and all the other friends I care about? I don't want to turn down fun plans and opportunities to see my friends just because he's going to be there, but also is it best for me to keep seeing him in group settings? Thanks and love you guys.
This one's tough.
Tough,
Yeah.
tough.
Um, I don't know. I feel like the main point that she has to remember is, we're friends, obviously, before everything, and like your tight knit friend group, like y'all are all friends, and at the end of the day, that's what you guys are gonna
Hmm.
be. And I mean, she clearly still cares for him, and like vice versa, and they still want
Yeah,
to be friends. But like, obviously, it's hard to walk into a room and see the guy you are in love with and
sure. Yeah.
doesn't love you back, and y'all are supposed to be friends and civil and cool, and all your friends are like know exactly what's going on too.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like an awkward situation, but I feel like if you and the guy don't make it weird, then it won't be weird.
That's You're exactly right, and that's what I think I fall on this,
Yeah.
is that there's a lot of mental buildup that occurs in these situations,
Yeah.
um, and if the guy is as good of a friend, as good of a guy as you kind of make it seem to be, he will have no problem just being friends and being
Yeah.
friendly and having fun, and I think although that may be difficult, it's, one, necessary to just still be friends and be friends with your friends, and that keep that friend group together because I think it's
Right.
healthy to
Yeah.
kind of, like, face your not face your fear, but just kind of, like, know you can deal with it. I always think you should handle problems with that sort of head-on approach rather
Yeah.
than skating around them forever, um, and I just don't think this needs to be a problem, and one, sort of be it'll be therapeutic in a way to kind of continue to discuss these things and find out you can live with this person in your orbit in this tight knit group of friends, and then when you move on it'll be even better because when you move on to somebody else or somebody else catches your feelings and you are able to take this person off this pedestal, then nothing will have changed as far as the friend group dynamics goes, and
Yeah.
then people are just excited for you, right? So
And also when it comes to like the friend group thing and the weddings and the events and the like the social aspect of it, like you're just as much friends with your friend group as he is as well.
sure.
And it shouldn't be like you not going to these events just because he's there. Like you have the same stake in your friendships with every single one of those people just as much as he does. So
Hmm.
if he's not missing them, why should you?
Yeah.
And if y'all like whatever you're thinking, like he's thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we like don't always acknowledge that. Like we get in our heads and we're like, oh no, like he's gonna be there, I'm gonna freak out, whatever. But like he's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and it's because like I act like I'm coming from a place here of like, oh, don't do this. Like I've been there,
Yeah.
and especially in friend groups and whether it's college or after college, y- like sometimes you just get feelings for somebody in a friend group. It happens, and it's often unrequited, right? Like
Yeah.
not a lot of the time do you find the perfect person in the friend group who's already best friends, and then everything happily ever
Yeah.
after. But it can be weird. It's socially, like, a little anxiety inducing, but the best way to get over it, I've found, is just interacting with them and interacting with the friend group, and eventually, like, time is sort of the thing that heals everything, and you move on, and you
100%.
find somebody
Yeah.
else, and it gets easier. Like, that's
Yeah.
just how it is, but I really don't think you should just avoid it as, like, a
No, definitely
problem-solving
not
technique
avoid.
because that's going to make things weird. And one, I do appreciate, I do commend you for having the conversation where you basically profess your feelings for this person.
Yeah. It's
And
hard to
and
do.
it's hard to do, and it's hard to take the result of that too. But um, it's just not like drawing the line where you don't speak and don't see each other one on one. Like I think that's just kind of this arbitrary thing that you think is gonna make you feel better, but it's also kind of locking you out of a potential way to solve these
Yeah.
feelings and sort of it automatically puts them in a place where it's like, I want, but I can't have because I can't talk to them. I can't reach out to them. I can't see them. So they're just continuing to be this like figure in your mind that you can't get over because
Right.
you sort of locked them out of your life. And so I just don't think that's the best course of action, even though often maybe it feels like
The easier
the
route.
easier route.
And like it's easier said than done than
Of
like
course.
showing
Yeah.
up to these social events and seeing the guy or seeing the girl and vice versa. But I think it's really the only way to like for her to be happy with her friendships with all of her friends and the guy that she's talking about. Because if she just ghosts everyone, she's gonna have no one. And she'll still be
Right.
upset
And
about the guy.
correct. And now
So
you're
there's
just
no
digging
point
in.
in like dissing all your friends because of it too.
Yeah, I don't think you should continue to dig a deeper hole here by shutting him off. And then somebody else is going to be shut off because you're sort of indirectly shutting this part of the friend group off. I
Yeah.
really think it's okay to be you can be anxious and you can be nervous. I get that. I totally get that. But I think those feelings are better served by interacting and
Yeah.
like
And if you're, like, that close to him, like, you can voice those feelings to him too. Be like, "Hey, I'm
hey,
anxious,
I'm
I'm
anxious about this.
nervous."
Right. That's such a you're such a
Because
good point.
he's probably thinking the same thing. He's probably anxious and nervous
Yeah, he's like,
too.
"Oh, I don't
So,
know. This is gonna be weird with like
yeah.
yeah, Michaela here, and I know
Mhm.
she's into me, and I'm not like and we had this weird
Yeah.
conversation that I know didn't go well for her." And so you can explain that. Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I feel worried about being here. Let's break the ice so this is not
Yeah.
weird for anybody. I'm sorry, that um well, he should say like, "I'm sorry, I don't feel this." There's ways to do it,
Right.
but the more the more you communicate, and I found myself doing this more in the last couple of months as I've been dealing with my dad passing away, is just like being super open and explaining like exactly what you feel is so much better off than trying to like dance around a political
Yeah.
answer or try to finagle something that's cliche or expected and what you learn
Yeah.
in the movies type of thing. So I get how this is hard, um, but I don't think you should ever turn down plans with friends
I
and
agree.
disengage with your friend group because of one person.
I agree. Especially when that was, like, your best friend for the past 6 years.
Right, exactly.
Like, they're still as, like, vital to your life as you are to
Mhm.
theirs. So there's no need to just, like, write them off.
Totally. Totally, totally, totally agree. Let's do the next one.
'Kay.
Hey, mail crew. I am starting a new job in a few weeks. Congratulations. And for the first time, I will be supervising one person. I'm really excited, but I'm afraid I will be too casual with her. She's a few years younger than me, but we are both in our 20s. The job is at a nonprofit in kind of rural Maine. So I'm not sure how many other young people will be around. Any advice on being a cool manager, but not too cool? Thanks. Love you. Bye. Um, I feel like kind of rural Maine is just like Maine. There's like
Yeah.
a couple like shouts to Portland and
Never been to
Freeport.
Maine.
Very cool state. Much larger than I think people realize.
Yeah.
It's like 8 hours south to north in Maine, which
Wow.
is yeah, swear to God, Randy, crazy stuff. But I put this question in here because I was like, oh, Callie's on this episode. I'm a manager of Callie who's in my late 20s and Callie's in her early 20s.
Right.
And I was like, oh, perfect. So from my perspective, my whole goal with supervising somebody, call it, is to one, you learn something, you get something out of an
Yeah.
internship or a job. Two, you feel empowered to do your own thing and be like, oh, I have ideas and I'm not just following some like handbook
Yeah.
of this, that, and the other thing. And three, I want to make sure that you have like the work you're doing and you feel like you are part of the family here. Like you're
Right.
part of the company and the work you do is directly affecting us in a positive or
Yeah.
negative way. Like,
Yeah.
so you take pride in your work. I think that's from a manager standpoint. That's what I want to convey. Um, like, it's tough to be professional because we work like we do what we do. So it's like
Right.
everybody kind of we're like, hey, did you watch this TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, or look at this video. Or Randy plays like pop punk on the TV all day.
Yeah.
And I sing along. I do too. I do too, Randy. I do too. So I think there's a way to be friends and also manage at the same time.
Right.
So I am curious to hear your thoughts on that and what you look for as the younger person in the dynamic.
I feel like there's a fine line between, like, I don't know, like, being like, having a boss basically and having it be your boss and
Mhm.
being friends. But I feel like in this scenario for him, don't try to, like, relate to everything that's going on in, like, the early 20s area, like TikTok and all that stuff. Like, yes, you can, like, try and relate, but if you genuinely, like, don't get it, then, like, don't bring it up because it might be too casual, or don't bring
Mhm.
up, like, little stories about this time you had when you were in college and did something, whatever, if it's, like, a more professional setting,
Sure.
because I don't know how, like, the intern or, like, the employee would really respond to that because I feel like they would be put in like a weird situation, be like, "Oh, same," or like, "Oh, I never did that."
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
But that's definitely in like more professional setting. Obviously, here it's easy to go back and forth on
Callie's
different
tired of
stories.
Dylan and I describing our high school sports stories is what
Right.
she's saying. She's like, "Guys, shut up."
No, I love it. But I don't know, being a cool manager, but not too cool, definitely listen. Um, like the feedback is huge. If you like listen to what he or she has to say, because if you're not getting feedback, then you don't know what you're doing, like right or wrong. So I feel like that's really like a big part of it.
Yeah, I think giving feedback on both ends is
Yeah.
such a crucial thing, that I don't think anybody does enough. It's like,
Yeah.
I remember there's this company called Bridgewater. It's a hedge fund in Connecticut, and they have this culture of, like, radical transparency where, like, literally everything is shared with the company, and, like, nothing's private,
See,
and
I
it's
feel like that's a
all
little too much.
it is, and it's like this it's sort of a culty thing, but they
Yeah.
sort of it's this culture of that. So you kinda know what to expect, and it's almost it's kinda weird, but the whole goal is to be so transparent that there's no like, nobody has a skewed idea of what's going on. Like, you
Right.
know if somebody doesn't like you, you know if somebody thinks you're shitty at your job, you know if somebody loves what you
It's
do.
kind of scary.
It's scary, but it works for
Yeah.
them, and they're one of the most
Constructive criticism.
successful funds on the planet because there's nothing is hidden,
Right.
and I don't think that's the perfect, way to do things, but I do think that feedback and communication
Yeah.
is crucial, um, especially in, like, a manager supervisor, kind of dynamic, and the more that you can tell somebody that, "Hey, I like this direction, let's do more of this, let's do less of this, what are your goals here?" I think that's part of being a friend too, is being able to share that stuff with a
Right.
supervisor or
Yeah.
boss or the other way and be like, "Hey, here's what I want from you, here's what I'm looking for, like, here's the goals I kinda think, and here's how it would help the most." So I think in this guy's situation, especially initially, try to knock out a lot of this communication right away. And it can
Yeah.
change and it can like, everybody has like the one-on-one meetings and stuff like
Right.
that.
But like
Like,
set the precedent of like open
yeah,
communication.
super,
Yeah.
super open because the more that you can kind of open somebody up to feeling comfortable talking about the business or talking about their role or talking about their expectations, I think the better that they perform as a team.
Yeah.
And so I think you kind of set that up. And hopefully you feel that way here, that you can be open and um, have a role and have like
Yeah.
be part of the dynamic and be part of the success here. Uh, I think that's the way to do it. So empowering um,
Empowering. That's a good word.
is a good dynamic here,
Yeah.
a good way to approach it, and then not try to be too cool.
Yeah.
Like, don't be like, "Hey, do you want to gas beers later?"
Well, it's also like if like this guy and his employee whatever is both in the 20s and he's scared that there's not a lot of like younger people there, like that
Mhm.
already sets the precedent that y'all will connect on a different level than you would with anyone else in like a different age range
Totally.
or in like any other scenario. So I feel like if you're trying to be cool, it won't come off that way.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's just like the underlying basis. Like y'all are close in age, you're in the same job industry, like you have common interests. So just like bank off of those rather than trying to like seek for things to talk about.
Sure. Yeah. And I wouldn't try to set up like I'm trying to think of how to put this. Like, don't try to set up a happy hour for the sole purpose of trying to be cool and like
Yeah.
be a friend. Like, I'm gonna go buy you a beer with Randy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do that. I think you can let sort of the work relationship speak for itself, and then that kind of turns into like, oh, let's grab lunch or let's grab a beer, and then that kind of makes that next step of being like, oh, so what do you do? Like, what do you do outside of work and stuff like that?
Right.
So, um, don't try too hard, I guess is a good way to put it, and make sure they're empowered in their work. And I
Yeah.
think that's probably a good start.
All
Last
right.
one, Callie. Hey guys, uh, I am looking for some Sal Gal or Cal Gal and travel Brett recommendations. If I'm traveling for work, what's the go-to business casual fit? I work in athletics and travel with the team, but when we're chartering a plane, business casual is required. How do I get a fit off while traveling comfortably and still avoiding the airplane germs? Thank you. Callie, what are some travel fits?
For girls, I feel like a sweat set is always the way to go,
So,
and you can
okay,
dress it up or down.
I have to gripe here.
Oh, okay.
The people and throwing girls under the bus, it's
Mm,
usually girls
right.
in my experience that wear like straight up pajamas on a flight.
Yeah.
I get I get the ick. I'm like, I am so skeeved out by seeing these pajama pants and slippers and ratty hoodies that people wear to the airport, and now it's like a thing. And I just that for
Yeah.
can't explain it, just absolutely like grosses me out.
So what do you wear to the airport
I
then?
have literally my airport uniform,
Mm,
my white sneakers, white Adidas
of
sneakers,
course.
Lulu joggers, and some combination of like a normal brand light sweater or a long sleeve pocket tee. Every time I go to the airport, every single time, white shirt, white long sleeve, whether it's a sweater or cotton shirt, black or navy Lulu joggers, white NMD sneakers.
So you're dressing athleisure too.
Yes,
So
very
why
much
is
so.
it fine if guys do that, but girls can't?
I know a sweat set's one thing.
Okay.
Like a good sweat set, I respect.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like the
fair.
plaid cotton
Yeah, no.
pajama
No, no,
pants
no, I don't
look.
like that, no.
No,
But I feel like and I'm very particular about flights, I have to be wearing pants because I don't like the feeling of, like, the seat on my leg, it
totally
doesn't feel
fair.
good,
Yep.
and then if I'm not wearing one, I'll bring one because I have to have a hood,
Mhm.
because when I, like, go to sleep or something, I don't know, it freaks me out having, like, my head on the back, so I, like, put up
Oh,
my hood when
okay.
I go to sleep.
Gotcha.
Um, I don't know, so I feel like business casual could go hand in hand, like, dressing it down with definitely, like, joggers, like, pocket tee, and maybe, like, a I don't know, like, one of those, like, shackets,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the nicer jackets.
Yep.
I feel like that could look good.
Yeah, I think business casual, if it's like true business casual, you probably have to rock a button down in
Yeah,
this situation.
like
So,
pants.
what I would say is the greatest invention of the 2010s, like 2010 to 2022, is there's like dry fit pants and dry
Mhm.
fit button downs now. Like non-spawn mizzen and main makes a kick-ass like men's button down, fits really nicely, and it's the same as like a dry tech polo, right?
Right.
It's super comfy, looks good, and you can sit on a plane for 4 hours and not sweat and not be like, ugh, I'm scratchy. Same thing goes for pants. Peter Millar, unbelievable pants for this situation. Lulu makes like the everyday pants, or I think Roan does a good pair of them, but they're more or less like golf pants. Same
Yeah.
material, wicking fabric, and you can dress them up. Um, and then for shoes, it's like you can go. There's like sneakers have sort
Yeah.
of become this business casual fashion item in a
Yeah.
way. So you can go any number of ways there, like a classy leather white sneaker or a classy leather black sneaker or like a lot of different kinds of things. You don't think you need to wear like, dress shoes
Yeah.
with that situation. So a lot of different ways. That would be my idea for guys.
I feel like for girls, I feel like the trousers, like the new I don't know, people are
Yeah, yeah,
rocking
yeah.
these, like, trousers lately, and I love them, like the dress
Yeah. I
pants,
think, but
but they're
like
comfortable.
from an outside perspective, like a guy's perspective, I think the girl like pant kind of trouser
Yeah.
look is like really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like vibey to me.
Yeah, I love it. So, I think definitely those pants because 'cause they're also really comfortable. Like, if you get the right pair, they're really comfortable,
Okay.
and then for, like, a top, you could do just, like, a tight, normal top if you have, like, the loose pants on,
Sure.
just like a tee, a nice t-shirt, and then same thing with shoes. If it's cold, you could go for, like, booties. If it's warm, you could do the sneakers, like, the
Mhm.
platform white shoes would look good, something like that
There
vibe.
you go. Um, and then don't count out if it's a little more like you kind of look around in formal stuff. I've done this before. Little like moisture wicking pants, polo,
Mm,
and jacket.
yeah,
Gotta be careful because it kind of look too formal, and you don't want to be
right.
like somebody walks by like, "Oh, hey, coach, like
Yeah,
you think you're one of the head honchos here, huh?" But
yeah,
good look if you can pull it off.
yeah.
Callie, that'll do it for questions. Now, you familiar with shower thoughts?
I am.
It's thoughts that you have in the shower that where you try to solve all the world's problems. Randy often thinks about Dungeons and Dragons in the shower. I learned what is it called, Randy, when you go on
It's called a session.
a session when you have your boys, or it could be girls playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's what they call it. Callie, what are some shower thoughts that you have for today?
All right, I have a few.
Okay,
Um,
hit us.
okay. So who closes the door after the bus driver gets off the bus?
Great
I think
question.
about it sometimes. I
Great
don't get
question.
it.
No idea.
Because
Couldn't
isn't
tell
it
you.
like a button inside or something that they close it with when they do the stops? They like turn the little lever thing, it opens the door, the kids get on, they
Yep,
close it, whatever. But when
100%.
the bus driver gets off, who I don't really know.
No idea.
No idea.
Absolutely no clue.
So I
Great,
think about that a
great
lot.
shower thought that now I will be thinking about. If any bus drivers out there know, please. I'm sure it's like a not a crazy
No, he probably
solution,
like pushes the doors closed and it
but I need
works.
to know.
Can you lock a bus?
Well, now we're
I don't
in the
know.
weeds
I'm
here.
just, I think
You ever
about
think
I
about?
honestly think about it a lot.
I think about are airplanes locked? Like, can you lock an airplane? Do you have keys to an
Yeah.
airplane?
Yeah. I feel like yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
No clue.
Well, yeah, because like the lever when you go up in the air, they like
Oh
flip
yeah,
the
yeah.
lever thing.
You
So I
from
feel
the
like that
inside.
locks. Yeah.
But if the
But if
door
you get
if you
off,
just
there's
walked,
not like a key you can just like
yeah, there's no
hmm,
key. The door is like if you or I walked up to a plane, can you just pop it open?
probably not.
I need to
I
know.
have no idea how that would work.
What else you got?
Um so splinters.
Yeah, familiar.
Haven't had a splinter in a long time. And it made me think, why do only kids get splinters?
There's a lot
Because
of
you don't really hear like adults getting splinters left and right.
no, you don't, and there's a lot of injuries like that. I feel like are
Yeah.
very kid related.
Like
I haven't
raspberries on your knee
I
or
haven't scraped
something.
a knee in
Yeah,
God
no.
knows how long. I
I
haven't
haven't
scraped a
scraped a knee
knee
in so
in
long.
forever.
Yeah.
Now, but you have adult injuries too. It's like, oh, my back hurts for literally no reason.
Yeah, it's
And
different.
right. Um, I think splinters as kids are you're outside
Yeah, you're on like the
more
playground with like
and the little wood
the
mulch
wood chip
pellets,
things.
or
Yeah.
you're on a swing set, which are just made of wood
Yep.
and absolute bee magnets. Like I've never been
Yeah.
stung anywhere but on one of those wooden playgrounds with like the
Yeah.
stairs that bounce
Yeah.
around. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
stung once in my life. Actually, now that you bring it up, I haven't thought about this in so long, but I was stung by a bee once in my life and I was going down a slide at the
Yep.
playground
Yep.
and it stung my foot when I stood up.
Playgrounds, bee traps.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
I have, you know what? I have gotten splinters though when doing like yard work.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
chopping wood or doing like branch cleanup type of
Yeah.
stuff. That happens for sure. I will say like paper cuts are a thing, especially now with Amazon and their
Yeah.
cardboard empire that they have going. I'm very nervous about throwing my cardboard away or like ripping it and breaking it down and being like slitting my wrist on it.
Yeah.
I'm very terrified of
Yeah.
doing something like that. Good question though. What's your last one here that I
All right.
see?
Yeah. I have one more. So Cars movies, like
Okay.
Cars, obviously. Why are there sidewalks in the movies?
Ooh.
They're all cars.
This is a good high thought.
Yeah.
Randy,
They're all cars. No one's walking. So why is there a sidewalk?
so I'm bringing Randy in for this as he is the animated movie expert. Why are there sidewalks in the Cars cinematic universe?
Oh. Just to match I will say they try to match the real world as much as possible. I learned about when they were on the air, they were on a cruiser for
What's a cruiser?
an aircraft carrier.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they had to redo a lot of the plane stuff because all the plane wings were supposed to be up. So I think they're just trying to match the actual real world as much as possible.
Got it. I don't even know what the alternative would be.
I've thought about it and I was like, okay, they're talking cars. So either I feel like it just has to be set somewhere in the future.
Okay.
So maybe humans are gone and there's no use for the sidewalks
And
anymore.
now
And it was taking
cars
place
are
like
sentient.
after.
Ah, I see. So they're
Um,
an artifact.
yeah, there has to be some reason though. Like there's probably a
I don't
valid
know.
reason why there's sidewalks in the Cars movies.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I have a shower thought, Callie.
Mhm.
I've recently become a YouTube ambiance guy.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this trend?
Like just listening to like vibey music. Is that what
It's
you're
like 8-hour long YouTube videos
okay?
of like lo-fi, you name it. Randy, can I get your help here on this?
With lyrics or just beats?
Lo-fi hip hop beats to study and relax to.
Could you pull
Mm.
up specifically? I'm into this stuff now, and it's I can't go back, but I've been seeing it more on people's like Instagram stories and
Mm.
whatnot. People make these 3D models of like cafes,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and you're just like it's like the point of view. You're sitting in a chair in a cafe,
Yeah, it's like virtual reality kind of.
and you like it's just you're stationary, and there's music playing, but it's this really beautiful like it's sort of art, but they put a little bit of animation in, so it's like snowflakes falling
Mhm.
or the fireplace is going, and they're playing the like jazz or some sort of lo-fi like hip hop or bossa nova or Christmas
Yeah.
music, for example. Yeah, here we go. Perfect.
It's loading.
Loading. Yes. 4K
like
cozy coffee
warm.
shop. It's warm
Yeah.
and like somebody
Like
that's
raining outside.
exactly. This is a computer. Like somebody built that in some sort of program, which Randy, what programs do they
Huh.
use for this?
Like 3D modeling stuff like Maya.
Maya. Okay. And I have found myself just lost in these videos.
Do you sit and play it and stare at
Yes.
You're not doing anything else?
No, I'll be like washing dishes or cooking dinner or
And it's like on
something.
your TV?
Yeah, and it's like on my TV. And the
Yeah.
Christmas one, can you find a Christmas one, Randy?
It kind of reminds me of like the Tesla thing where you can put like a fireplace on your screen in
Yeah.
the Tesla.
So at the Merriman Christmas cocktail hour 2 years ago, we had a Yule log going on the old TV, which was really, really nice. But if you're an ambiance person out there, let me know. Give me some recommendations. Yeah, Calmed by Nature.
Mm.
Like you're sitting in a coffee shop.
Yeah, it's cold, it's snowing.
It's snowy and there's Christmas jazz going in the
Uh-huh.
background. And it's like if you have anxiety or you're anxious or same thing. These have been like YouTube Xanax
Hmm.
for me.
That's interesting because I haven't really like gone into like this side of things because I'll play like the 8 hour like
Sure.
music thing to
Yep.
do work
Do those
too,
too. Yep.
because I'm so ADHD that I can't listen to like music because
Yep.
I'll start like singing the song in my head rather than focusing on the work I'm doing. So
Mhm.
it has to be just like instrumental.
Totally.
So I like play these videos, but I haven't seen like the ambiance vibe like this.
Yeah. And it
It's
just sits
sick.
there. It sits there for 8 hours. And so while I'm doing stuff like if I'm folding laundry, doing laundry, cleaning,
Yeah.
making food, building furniture, it's crazy. It's crazy how
You just like transport to a coffee
yeah,
shop where
you
it's
kind of
snowing.
do. Very interesting. Anyway, that's going to do it for the Mail In Podcast. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review the pod, and tell a friend about it. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail In Podcast. Callie, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Calli Rubin and on Twitter at Calli Rubin1.
There you go. Randy, thank you. Callie, thank you. Adam, thank you behind the scenes. I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on both of those platforms. We'll see you guys. I won't be here next week.
Mm.
I will be. No, I will. I will be here next week. More on that later. I forgot we have one more week before I'm on the road. Anyway, I'll be here next week. I'll explain everything later, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.